Good evening again. This is Gemini. There's my candles in the regular light. Aren't they beautiful? They just make me see so many things, and that's why I really like them. It's kind of like when I look into Jack, we all see different things. So I like these candles sometimes when I'm meditating, because it kind of reminds me of the universe. Okay, back to our subject. Question number 2, asked by Olivia. Olivia would like to ask how do our spirit guides choose us, or are they assigned? Well, Marcus is chiming in right now, and Marcus says, sometimes our spirit guides are previous people we've known in life. Sometimes they are family members that are close that don't want to join us in human form anymore, or do not want to be part of the physical life that we're leading. So they enjoy the idea of being an advisor or a guide. It's just another way or another experience in evolution. There's so many things that a guide does, and you don't just become a guide as well, much like you don't just become a human. You have to have an interest. You have to have evolved enough to go beyond. You have to have enough soul experience to be able to advise another soul. You have to be a good communicator. You have to want that person. But most of all, it's a soul contract, and it's agreed upon. Okay, here's the Abraham Collective. And their idea of soul guides is we're all part of something greater. Because I'm called the Abraham Collective does not mean that no one else can contact me, that we have exclusive rights to any certain soul or being. Spirit guides often help many people at the same time. They have that ability of transference. If they see somebody who needs a little different type of guidance, they can step in. And most of the time, that's with permission from their primary task at the moment. I mean, they're not really beneficiaries. They're more what that spirit is assigned or agreed to upon the moment. But because so many things are subject to change through evolution, soul guides and your spirit guides and your spirit animals are also subject to change. Many times there is step-ins in people's lives, and they don't even realize it, that you have a new guide for some specific purpose in your life. And when that's over, that guide fades back out of your life. They may continue to observe your life, and they may occasionally interject, but they may go on to other projects. They may do things that are a lot deeper. They may be done evolving in that form of guidance as well. And so to be a guide too is an agreed upon understanding. Because a person has to establish a communication, a timeline of communication, and basically choose the involvement that they want with spirit and with their guide, and what kind of things they want spirit to guide them to or through or for. What would you want to be warned about in your life? You tell me. So, I mean, our guides are actually chosen along with part of our soul plan and part of our being, and that guide has to agree upon it too. Now, The second part, or the third part of this, is going to be answered by Chicarone, because Chicarone wants to address the forms that our guides take, or our guidance. I say Chicarone is my Native American guide, and he tells me he chose that form because I'm very fond of Native Americans, and that's, that makes it easier for him. When I already liked the form that he is, then I was less scared of him when I met him. I was less afraid of him. I was more open to him. I was more open to possibilities and ideas. And so kind of the form that your guide takes is one that you will be comfortable with. The last thing your guide wants to do is scare you. So Chicarone says that some people who are taking his advice through Jack and the Ball, Jack and the Ball is just an appearance, just that humor, just that wit, that's sometimes needed in every situation. That doesn't mean that his guidance is any the less through Jack and the Ball, because he does give some really great guidance and some really great messages. But everybody gets their guidance and their message in a different form, and they have different ways that they believe. And so some people would prefer to think of their guide as like a superhero. And if you think your guide is a superhero, then that's the impression your guide wants to give you. That's something that you can identify with. That's something that is important to you. So I hope it answered your questions. Have a great day. Love to all. Gemini.